Hello, I'm back, and today we have a new lesson. We will talk about the energy levels in an atom. So what are energy levels? Energy levels are the orbits followed by electrons around the nucleus of an atom. In the latest model, these orbits appear as clouds of electrons. They are also called the main energy level or the shells. There are basically 7 energy levels in an atom, and they are numbered from energy level 1 to 7. They can also be called as shells. We have the K, L, M, N, O, P, and Q shells. In these orbits, there are also sublevels of energy. Let us imagine the atom as the school premises. Inside the school, we have different buildings, and that is the main energy levels. In every building, we have classrooms. These classrooms are the sublevels of energy. So, the sublevels of energy are the finer subdivisions of the main energy levels. As for now, with 118 known elements, there are 4 occupied sublevels. And these are sublevels S, P, D, and F. S stands for sharp line, P stands for principal line, D stands for diffused line, and F stands for fundamental line. They are named after the lines seen in the line spectrum when atoms are seen or studied under a spectrometer. The sublevels of energy can only hold a specific number of electrons. For the S sublevel, it can only hold less than or equal to 2 electrons. Meaning, kaya niyang humawak ng isa, kaya niyang humawak ng dalawa, pero hindi pwede ang tatlo. For the P sublevel, we have less than or equal to 6. Anong ibig sabihin nito? Ang P sublevel pwedeng magkaroon ng isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat, 5, hanggang 6 na elektron. Pero, hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng 7 electrons sa P sublevel. For the D sublevel, we have less than or equal to 10. This means it can have 1 to 10 electrons, but it cannot hold 11 electrons. And for the F, we have less than or equal to 14. Ibig sabihin, pwede siyang magkaroon ng 1 hanggang 14 electrons, pero hindi na pwedeng sumobra sa 14. In sublevels, we have atomic orbitals. Kung babalikan natin yung analogy natin dun sa school, yung atom ang school, yung mga buildings, yun yung mga main energy levels, yung mga classrooms, yun yung sublevels of energy. Ito namang mga atomic orbitals, ito yung mga upuan sa loob ng classroom. Ito yung most probable location ng mga electrons sa loob ng atom. Kung paanong sa loob ng classroom, doon matatagpuan yung mga estudyante, most probably. Pero hindi natin sinasabing laging nandoon yung mga estudyante. Kung paano ang mga electrons, hindi natin pwedeng i-pinpoint yung exact location nila. Atomic orbitals are regions around the nucleus where electrons are most likely to be found. According to Wolfgang Pauli's exclusion principle, only two electrons with opposite spin can occupy a single orbital at the same time. Kung babalikan natin, kanina, sabi natin ang S sublevel, kaya lang niyang humawak ng hanggang 2 electrons. Bakit kaya? Sabi sa Pauli's exclusion principle, ang bawat orbital ay kaya lang humawak ng 2 electrons na may opposite spin. Ang S sublevel ay meron lang isang orbital. So, ang bawat orbital ay pwedeng lumaman ng 2 electrons. Kaya ang S sublevel, pwedeng magkaroon ng isa, pwedeng magkaroon ng 2. Pero hindi pwede ang 3 dahil yung isang orbital niya, ang kaya lang hawakan ay hanggang 2 electrons. Ang P sublevel naman ay merong 6 hanggang 6 na electrons. Bakit kaya? Kasi meron siyang 3 orbitals. Bawat isang orbital ay kayang humawak ng 2 electrons. So, 3 orbitals times 2 electrons per orbital equals 6 electrons. Maximum of 6 electrons lang ang pwedeng hawakan ng P sublevel. Ang D sublevel naman ay merong 5 orbitals. Kaya, kung bawat orbital ay kayang humawak ng tigda 2 electrons, ang D sublevel ay kaya lang humawak ng hanggang 10 electrons. Ang F sublevel naman ay merong 7 orbitals. Kung bawat orbital ay kayang humawak ng 2 electrons at meron siyang 7 orbitals, ang kaya lang hawakan ng F sublevel ay hanggang 14 electrons. Hindi na pwedeng sumobra doon. Let us now study the relationship between the energy levels, the sublevels, the orbitals, and the number of electrons in an atom. So the first column here, we have the main energy levels. The second column, we have the sublevels of energy for every main energy level. The third column shows you the number of orbitals contained by the sublevels. The fourth column tells you the maximum number of electron per sublevel, and the last column tells us about the maximum number of electron per energy level. So the first energy level has only one sublevel, and that is the S sublevel. The S sublevel has only one orbital, and it can only hold a maximum of 2 electrons. Therefore, if the first energy level is filled with electrons, then it has 2 electrons. For the second energy level, there are 2 sublevels present, the S and the P. The S sublevel has 1 orbital, while the P sublevel has 3. The maximum number of electrons for the first sublevel is 2, while for the P sublevel, we have maximum of 6 electrons. Kaya, pag pinag-add natin yung 2 at saka yung 6, ang maximum number of electrons ng second energy level ay 8. Yun ay kung puno ang S at P. For the third energy level, there are also 3 sublevels present, the S, the P, and the D. The S has 1 orbital, P sublevel has 3, and D sublevel has 5. S has a maximum of 2 electrons, P can hold a maximum of 6, and D can hold a maximum of 10 electrons. If we add up 2 plus 6 plus 10, we have a total of 18 electrons if the third energy level is filled with electrons. For the fourth sublevel, we have 4 sublevels also. S, P, D, and F. Again, S has 1 orbital, P has 3, D has 5, and F has 7. S has a maximum of 2 electrons. P can hold a maximum of 6, D can hold a maximum of 10, and F can hold a maximum of 14 electrons. If we add 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14, the maximum number of electrons for the fourth energy level is 32. For the fifth energy level, we have S, P, D, F, and G. For the S, we have 1 orbital, and there are maximum of 2 electrons for the S sublevel. For the P, we have 3 orbitals or a maximum of 6. For D, we have 5 orbitals times 2 electrons per orbital. That's why we have 10. For the F, we have 7 orbitals or 14 electrons. And for the G, we have 9 orbitals or a maximum of 18 electrons. If we add 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14 plus 18, energy level 5 can hold 50 electrons. For the sixth energy level, S has 1 orbital or 2 electrons, P has 3 orbitals or 6 electrons, D 5 orbitals or maximum of 10, F 7 orbitals or maximum of 14, G has 9 orbitals or 18 electrons, and H has 11 orbitals or a maximum of 22 electrons. If we add 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14 plus 18 plus 22, then we have 72 maximum number of electrons for the sixth energy level. For the seventh energy level, again, we have the S sublevel with 1 orbital or a maximum of 2 electrons. P sublevel has 3 orbitals or a maximum of 6. D sublevel has 5 orbitals or a maximum of 10 electrons. F sublevel has 7 orbitals or 14 electrons. G sublevel 9 orbitals or a maximum of 18. H sublevel has 11 orbitals or a maximum of 22 electrons, and I has 13 orbitals or a maximum of 26 electrons. If we add 2 plus 6 plus 10 plus 14 plus 18 plus 22 plus 26, then the seventh energy level can hold a maximum of 98 electrons. Take note, class, that this lesson that we are discussing today is very important in our next lesson, which is the electron configuration. So do not forget our lesson for today. For tomorrow, we will do the electron configuration. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for listening and goodbye for now.